Hello everyone. In this session we'll see how to clone a Git remote repository. So in GitHub there's a lot of public repositories that are available that you can clone it directly in your local system and do modification, and after that you can also change or commit your changes to the public repository. In addition to that, in many companies, most of the companies, they host all their code on a cloud platform. So some of the cases they host in GitHub. So we'll see like how to clone a repository from GitHub so it can be used in your day-to-day activity also if you're a developer. And then we'll see how to modify changes and how to commit it also. Let's get started. We'll first see what's the difference between download and clone. Then we'll see how to clone a repository, a remote repository using terminal, your command line interface. Then we'll see how to clone a repository using GitHub Desktop, that is your GUI application. We'll also see how to unpack objects in case of cloning. Then we'll see how to modify some files using an editor. In our case, we'll use Visual Studio Code. After that, we'll see how to commit all your local changes, and then we'll see a bit about what is git diff. So let's get started. I'll open my terminal and let's go to Chrome and navigate to GitHub official website. So once you type this on your Chrome browser, it will navigate you to the result, and you can see the first option is github.com. Just click on this. Once you are there, so you can see there are many options available over here. So if you click on explore and go to topics, or you go to collections and then you go to learn to code. So you can see there are a lot of repositories that are publicly available over here. So if you see over here, so this is one of the repository that is created here, and you can see few details over here like the star mark, like how many people has given the star ratings, how many times this has been forked, and what kind of tag it has been used, that is JavaScript over here. So this is some details that will follow up again in the upcoming sessions, so no need to worry about this. This is the name of the particular repository. Let's try to clone it. So I'll just click on this. It will take you to the repository. So you can see some details over here, the kind of files it is contained. So let's click on this code button over here, and you can see there are a few details available like how to download. You can download it via zip or open with a GitHub desktop, or you can directly clone it using this URL. So let's try first by downloading, like how to download this. So if you click on this download zip link, you can see it has downloaded over here. I click on this and I'll just double click, so you can see this particular repository has been downloaded over here. I'll try to open this particular repository, so I'll just go to my terminal, and since it is in download, I will type cd space download and do ls. So you can see this repository is present and we have to check in this particular folder. So I'll type cd30 and tab and let's do ls. So you can see this repository is present over here. Similarly, you can see it is present over here as well. So what's the difference between a clone and a download option? So if you see over here, all these hidden files are also displayed in this case over here. If I just do ls minus la, so you can see there are certain repositories that are with dot extension. So these are hidden folders. In case of download, you cannot find a .git folder over here, which means it is a problem for you, because if you want to do some changes, then it will be a problem for you. So that is why it's not recommended to do a download option in case of a Git remote repository. It's better to use clone. So now we have seen what it happens when we use a download option. So I'll just go back to my desktop and try to clone this particular repository that is over here. So I'll use this particular link. I'll just copy this link with this particular button. I'll click on this and then go to my terminal and type. So you can see currently I am on the desktop, that is this particular path. So I'll type cd clone and the URL, hit enter. Okay, so I'll type git clone and then this and hit enter. And you can see the cloning has started, and it will take some time to clone depending on the size of the file and your network speed. So let's wait for a couple of seconds. And yes, you can see it is downloaded over here. I will go back to my desktop and you can see there is one folder over here with the same name. If I expand this, now you can see there is one folder with .git. So now we can see in this case, now we have a .git folder when we are using clone. So this is one difference between download and your clone option. So in download, you will not get a .git repository, which creates a lot of problem when you are using your development environment, and that's why it's always recommended to use clone feature for your CLI or for your GUI, that is with GitHub Desktop. So this is a difference between your download and clone option. Now let's go back to the agenda. So we are done with this, and we have also seen how to download it using terminal, that is your CLI tool. Now we'll see how to clone using GitHub Desktop. So I will open my GitHub Desktop, and you can see it has opened, and there are few options available over here in the home screen, that is clone a repository from internet, create a new repository, and then add existing repository. So we have seen this adding part in our previous sessions. For those who are not aware about this, please go back and check my previous videos. Now we'll see how to clone a repository from internet. I'll click on this link, and it will give you some options like github.com, then GitHub Enterprise Server, and the URL. So I'll use the URL option as of now, and I'll again go back here and copy this particular link, and I'll paste it here. It will ask you the local path where you want to clone this. So let's say I want to clone it in my desktop itself. So I will go and I will say desktop. So it says, okay, so I have to just remove this. Again, I'll try. So I'll just choose the file name, go back to desktop, and let's say I'm creating one more folder, let's say clone, and open here. So you can see now we can clone it. Click on clone option, and it's cloning now from the GitHub repository, the public repository, and you can see it has been cloned over here because it shows the current repository as 30 seconds of code. I'll go back to my desktop, and we have cloned it in clone folder. I'll expand this, and you can see again the GitHub or the .git folder is present over here, which means it has been cloned properly. If I go back here on the GitHub Desktop, you can see few options of few details. That is, current repository is this. We can select a new one if you want. In desktop, the current branch is master over here, and fetch to origin, or like if you want to fetch something from origin, is there. We'll discuss about this in upcoming sessions. If you make any change in the repository, it will show in this particular screen, and it will show the history of the commits as well. So you can see a lot of commits has been done. So these are all the changes that you can see that has already done or committed in this particular repository, and that's it. So this is how we can clone a particular repository, a remote repository, by using GitHub Desktop. Now we'll see unpacking object in Git. So what does that mean? So I'll just go back to any repository. So let's say I am in clone 30 seconds of code. So if you have remember previously, in a previous session, we have seen in the object folders, we'll find a lot of objects present. But in this case, if you see, there are not any folder, even a single folder present for any object. Why this is because when you store any repository in the GitHub location, in that case, the repository is optimized in such a way to avoid spaces. So that's why all the objects are compressed and formed in a .pack file. So if you see this particular file, this file contains detail of all the objects that are present. In order to unpack this particular file, we have to do some steps. So we'll just drag and drop it here in .git folder, first step. So you can see this file is present in .git folder, and we are only using .pack file, not .idx file. After that, for unpacking this particular pack file, we have to use a command called cat space package name or .pack name space pipe symbol space git unpack space objects hyphen objects. So again, I'll go back to my terminal, and I will type cd desktop, then clone, then 30 seconds, and then I will go to .git folder. Over here we have one file. We'll just check the name. So we have this file over here. I will type the command cat space the .pack file name space pipe symbol space git unpack hyphen objects, unpack hyphen object. So you can see now it's unpacking all the objects that were compressed in this .pack file. Let's give it a minute to unpack all these files. So now we can see all the objects are unpacked, and we can see few details over here that says 100% unpacking is done. The size of the particular object is 26.69 MB and it is completed. So we'll go back to our dot opera folder. So you can see now in this particular folder, you can see there are few details present, or there are a lot of folders added now for our object. So these all folders are added now, or it has been unpacked from the .pack file. So now we can see, or we have seen how to unpack the object, so we can use it in a future reference. So we'll see the content of this particular blob object. So I'll just copy this particular hash and append it with the folder name, that is fd, to check the content first. So I will just type git cat file space fd, that is the folder name, appended with the hash and then space -p. So you can see the content of the file is shown over here. That's fine. Let's see the type of the particular file. It's a blob. So we have just seen like this is a blob object, just to see what exactly it contains. So for those who are not aware about how to use git cat file option and how to get the content or a detail from a particular object in Git, please go back and check my previous videos. Now let's see how to modify it in a working directory. So I'll do one thing, I'll open my Visual Studio Code and I'll show you how to modify it. So let's open it here. So I'll go to File and click on Open. Go to my desktop. And I'll open my current working directory. So you can see this file is coming over here. So the best part about the editor is, like in Visual Studio Code, is it shows proper icons for the particular text file or the particular file format. So you can see for Git files it is showing a Git icon over here, and for others it is showing properly, like a JavaScript file it is showing a JS icon over here. So let's see how to change or modify it. Let's say I'm modifying a read-only file and I am modifying some options. So let's say I am trying to add one extra line of code over here, or let's say an editor. Let's say I'm typing end of file. So this is the kind of modification I'm trying to make in this particular file using Visual Studio Code. Click on save. Once you click on save, you can monitor here, like there is one icon coming over here next to this particular option. So if you go here, you can see there is a change that is directed by Visual Studio Code. If you click on this, you can see there is a modify option over here. If you click on this, it will show you the changes, which says the old file is something like this and the new file is something like this. It's a plus icon is displayed here. It means one line has been added. So these are few details that has been changed over here. So it's like modifying some code in your repository if you want to modify. So I'm taking a simple example of modifying any file. So you can even add a line of code if you want. Let's go back to our GitHub desktop and see what exactly shown here. So you can see the same details are shown in this particular change area as well, which says this particular file has been changed. If I click on this, it says a file line, that is end of file, has been added over here. Go back to history, it will not show anything because nothing has been pushed from our side. And since we are on master branch, it shows all the details over here. So that's it. So let's do one thing. I will now try to check in some code. So I will just go back to my terminal and I will just check status. So you can see the file has been modified. Let's add this file to our staging area and again check the git status. You can see this file has been modified. Now let's add it. So you can see now the commit has been made, and you can see one file has been changed to insertion has been made. If I go back and check my status, so you can see there is nothing present over here. It means it's all pushed. If I go back here, there is nothing present over here. It means all changes has been pushed. Going back to history, you can see our commit is showing over here, which says the commit message is over here. The person who has committed is showing over here. The hash is over here. One file is changed and the detail of the changes are also displayed over here. So this is how you will change your particular repository in your local, and how to push it or how to commit it. So as of now, all the changes are still in local. It has not been pushed to your central repository where the code has been hosted. So if I go back and check here, so if I click on this commit link over here, it will take you to the number of commits that has been done in this. So if I go back here, so you can see this is the same thing coming over here. So the change has been pushed to our Git local repository, but it has not been pushed to the central repository. We'll see how to push it to the central repository in the upcoming videos. So just ignore it as of now. So that's it, how to do changes in your local and commit it. So thanks a lot for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.